And thanks for doing it as well. I appreciate you taking the time to do it. It's like,
No, always. I'm a lover. I don't know. Lover might be an understatement. I feel like I am music. So anything to do with music or my love of music or anyone else's love of music, I'm always up for sharing that energy, you know.
how did your sort of music journey start? What was like, what inspired you to get into music?
Literally, Michael. So as a kid, when I was as far back as I can remember, I first got into dance because I was Michael all the way. Like that was it. That was my everything. So I would perform Michael. I would do talent shows all over, and I'd perform Michael Jackson. Like, and as a kid, I won talent shows. I was in newspapers, on the news for, and then I'd say that was my first little journey into starting to figure out, and this was obviously as a kid, but starting to figure out that, hey, I actually want to do more with music. And I was always like drumming on stuff and beating on stuff, and I would annoy everybody. But then my mom got into church, and I ended up becoming the drummer. So that obviously from Michael Jackson to drumming, and then singing in the choir. Um, yeah, that was kind of like just the start. So Michael into drumming, into church choir was like my start basically into music. And then I grew up in Houston, Texas. So down in Houston, down south, we freestyle a lot. Like we make up lyrics off the top of our head. We don't write them
Yeah.
down. Like everybody would just have these freestyle sessions. And I was always the guy that was known for I do the beats on the table and stuff like that for everybody to just freestyle to. And then one day we was in the music room and we had a CD player and they were just playing instrumentals off the CD player. And everyone was kind of passing the mic around and then it kind of just went silent. Like nobody wanted to rap for that little moment in time. And I just started freestyling. And everybody thought that I had just been freestyling for years and just not doing it in front of them. But it was literally my first time. And so from that point, everyone kept saying, you really need to start like getting into music. You need to start writing and like really get into music. So about around the time when I finally decided to really get into music, I had a friend that he was in the Army Reserves, but every time he'd come home, he'd take me to these clubs to battle rap. So I was like listening to like Ludacris, and then I was studying Eminem because he was just all battle raps back then, and I like learned every one of the battles off of 8 Mile just to like perfect technique and delivery and things like that. And I would just win all these battles, and then yeah, I was just like listening to Jay Z. Um, and then I would study artists too. So I would listen to Jay Z interviews, and he was like brought in by Big Daddy Kane. So I would listen to Big Daddy Kane, and then I would listen to Ludacris, and Ludacris was inspired by Redman. So I would listen to Redman, and then like, it's just literally going down a rabbit hole. Like Eminem was inspired by LL Cool J.
I love Hello
So
Cool J.
yeah, so I would listen to LL Cool J, but then my mom was a big fan of LL Cool J also. And my mom listened to everything. So when I did get into music finally, I kind of just incorporated everything. So my mom, she would listen to like Genesis, Meatloaf, Luther Vandross, Snoop Dogg, Salt and Pepper. She just like her taste was just so varied. She'd listen to reggae, but then she'd listen to like in the Caribbean, there's calypso. So she'd be jamming calypso and like there's just so many things that I just grew up listening to, and I just started to really incorporate everything into what I was trying to become, basically. I feel like I'm always going to be a student of music.
I love that your mum liked hip hop as well. It's great. My mum hated hip hop, but she was like the first person that ever showed me a hip hop song because she had a CD that had Rapper's Delight on it by the Sugar Hill Gang.
Yeah,
And obviously, when you hear that
yeah.
as a kid, you think it's amazing, don't you? Like and it's a great song anyway. But like when you're a kid, it's a good one to sort of get your ear into hip hop, I think.
It is, it is. And I mean, I literally, surprisingly, I had told you in the message that I'm working on a song where I sampled uh, the Chili Peppers Road
Yeah.
Tripper, the guitar riff. And I just so happened to find on Netflix there's an actual doc on the Chili Peppers. So I
Yeah,
watched it
about the band
yesterday.
member that died. I watched it the other day. It's good.
Yeah, yeah, it's really good. But they got their start, their inspiration was hip hop. And
Yeah.
I think it was Rappers Delight that they were drawn to because of how they were discussing in Rappers Delight what people were going through at that time. And they connected with that. So yeah,
That's cool. Did you sort of like step away from music for a little bit as well?
I did. So yeah, I stepped away from music for a bit. I mean, I don't know. I'm a very big energy person, and I just feel like after a certain period of time, the energy in music and the music industry shifted, and I just wasn't really connecting with it anymore. So that kind of is what I don't know. I guess I lost inspiration
I mean, it's a
after a
tough
certain point.
industry as well, isn't it? It's not an easy industry to crack and stuff as well.
Well, yeah, it's not easy, but to be honest, when I moved to England, I even in America, but when I moved to England, I excelled very quickly. So I was fortunate to take these journeys to London and meet people and people that had connections. So, well, I think one of my first connections in the UK was a guy by the name of Soweto Kinch, who's an award-winning jazz musician. And also, if you know Amy Winehouse, she always raves about Soweto Kinch. So he was like, we become friends. We're still friends to this day. So he was like the first person who got me on stage and let me perform with him on stage in the UK, basically. And I went on to form many other alliances in music. I mean, I have a really good friend. He's a Jewish guy named OJ Ofer Shabby, and he owns Soho Sonic Studios in Camden in London. But he got me a lot of work, and I worked with him a lot. Who else? I've been fortunate to work with people that's come from like The Voice, like the EP you heard, the Blowout EP, which is the hip hop R&B one.
Yeah, I love that.
His name's Brian Thomas. He comes from The Voice. I was fortunate to work with Tyler James, who also was the best friend of Amy Winehouse when he came off The Voice. So I did a Place to Go album, and I was fortunate to work with him on that. So I've managed to forge relationships and really elevate very quickly. But I'm so much like Michael. It's like, when the magic's gone, you feel like the magic isn't there. I just felt
Yeah.
like the music business and the music in itself shifted, and I don't want to blame it on the youth because the future is going to be the future. The youth deserve a chance to get their music out, to get whatever gift it is they have out. But I just feel like a lot of the youth weren't getting a gift out based on the inspiration of I want to make music because of this person, and this person that inspired me. I was working with a lot of youth who, when I was around them, they would say, "Well, I saw this person become successful, and they're from the hood, and they got a car, and they got money, and so
Yeah.
now it's so easy with social media. I can just buy the equipment, record this in my room, and I can become famous." And so a lot of the groundwork it wasn't there. So you just didn't have to. they didn't really have the appreciation for the artistry, the music, and the journey, because it was less of a journey after a certain point, which it still is that now. But I think a lot of the um the people who really take music seriously and who really care about the music are starting to come back. I think the care is starting to come back. And I think a lot of the young people now are a bit fed up of watered down music, or as we call microwave music. And they want
Yeah.
something that's really cooked on the stove and cooked in the oven. They want a wholesome meal when it comes to their music. And a lot of 90s hip hop is starting to come back. A lot of early 2000s, you see that happening with R&B. You see it happening in pop also. You see it after at a certain point in time, we didn't have boy bands anymore, and
Yeah,
now
they
we're
just
starting to
vanished
see
it.
a
Now they've had a bit of a
resurgence.
resurgence.
Yeah, now we're seeing a resurgence. So that's kind of brought back that inspiration in me to say, okay, now I'm feeling inspired again. And fortunately for me, being featured as one of the UK artists to help push hip hop. And now I will be featured in October when the Hip Hop Museum opens in the Bronx, New York. That also inspired me too. So I was like, you know what? I'm from this little ghetto area called Barrett Station, Texas. And to come from that to know that in October anyone can walk in there and see my face is amazing.
That's
So
so cool. Why are you in the museum? That's cool. I love that.
say that again.
Why are you featured in it? Like, why?
As someone who has helped to push hip hop in the UK,
Oh, really? That's
yeah,
so cool. That's
yeah,
wicked. That's got to be
because
a
it's
buzz
not
as
just
well. Like,
down.
it's got to feel quite gratifying. Is that the word,
Um,
gratifying?
listen,
That's got to feel good.
it's. I'm usually not lost for words, but with that, I'm so lost for words. The only thing I could really say is I'm so appreciative. I'm so grateful. I'm so thankful. I just feel so blessed to be in that position. But I'm at a loss for words. I don't really know what else to say because when I grew up and I got into music, it was always for me, I would love to just win a Grammy. No way did I think, one day I want to be in a museum. So
Yeah.
it's one of those things where you can plan for something and that don't work, but something else amazing happens in your life that you didn't plan for, and that's one of those things for me.
It's cool. I love that. Did you ever think you wouldn't go back into music though? Was there ever a time where you thought you're done with it?
No, no, because even though I wasn't as inspired, I'm always doing some form of music. Someone always will be like, "Can you feature on this?" Or they will ask me help for songwriting. And I think for me, being the person to help push hip hop in the UK, which is why I'm in the museum, it's not just down to what I've done the years I've been here as far as in being an artist. It's more of what I've done behind the scenes also as a songwriter. Um, Paige Keiki, who was on Waterloo Road, when she finished with Waterloo Road, she wanted to get into music. So she started working with a Birmingham artist named Lady Leisha. When she finally decided she wanted to do a project, I was one of those that helped with her project called The Next Page. And she signed a management deal with Always Recording. And I got that because one of the producers I was working with, Joshua Bailey, he was the keyboard player for Chipmunk at the time, and his co-production partner's name was Elliot Fife, who was the drummer for Chipmunk. And so they kind of was like, I think he'd be great to help her with songwriting and just different because I have range when it comes to it. Even though I'm born in England, I grew up in America, and I come back. The first thing I did was study music. I went right into studying grime, having that appreciation for grime because I just have a appreciation for music. I just learned everything, and I learned what the formula is here also. So it's half just inspiration, natural gift, and half understanding what formula is and what works and what doesn't, and what connects with the people.
That's cool. I love that. It's a good lookout. You've got a bit of a musical link in your family as well, haven't you? I think, did you say you've got someone that was in the 90s group or something?
Yeah, so my uncle's name is El Reed, and he had the group China Black.
Yeah, what was there was a big song. I always forget what it
Searching.
was, but they had quite a big song, didn't they?
Yeah, searching.
Yeah,
Yeah,
searching.
searching.
I
Yeah,
won't sing
so
it, I'll
that
murder it.
yeah,
Yes.
that's my father's youngest brother.
Oh, is it? That's
Yeah.
cool. Have you ever sort of got advice from him about musical stuff? And
You know what? Unfortunately, no, but I've met him, I've been around him many times. He's a very busy guy. And even though he hasn't given me advice, I don't think he needs to. I think just my appreciation of being able to meet him and understand that, this gift I have does run through our DNA also. And so,
yeah,
we share that same space. I'm appreciative that we share that same space. I mean, his good friend who he wrote for was Robin Gibb, and he's written for Jamiroquai. He was best friends with Jessie J before she really got famous. So he has his roots in music, and he was able to accomplish what he accomplished as a songwriter. And I think those things also is what inspired me to not just focus on my artistry, but focus on my songwriting too, which I appreciate because there's no better feeling than writing something, somebody else sings or raps that, and it comes out amazing,
yeah, that's
you
cool.
know.
That's cool. How do you think your sound's evolved since you first started to now?
Oh, I'd say this when I speak to my friends back home, and they always talk about the music that I was making then, because I was in a few rap groups when I first started. And when I talk to, I'm still friends with these guys. So when they talk about these songs, I'm like, ugh, just like I don't even want to hear it because it's like I would never make that now. I would never word something this way, or it's just, but it's growth. It's growth, and that's supposed to happen anyway and come over time. I'm totally different as an artist than I was then. But again, I was really in such a learning period back then. And I was taking different styles from different people, and I would incorporate those styles into my music. Whereas then it took a few years for me to really grow and become who I wanted to be as an artist and have my sound and develop mine.
I love when you sent me the Blowout EP yesterday, because I put that on in the car when I was on my way home from the gym, and like I love that it's got like a sort of 2000s sort of vibe to it. Like it's got that sort of like hip hop era, because that's my favorite
Yeah.
era of like because I was sort of a teenager then as well. So it was like good. As soon as I finished listening to it, I sent it to my mate Joe. He's like a big hip hop fan as well. So he was like, "Ah, it's really good and all that." So like, I was buzzing to get. I finally got a good hip hop. I've only done one or two hip hop artists, so it was good to get some more hip hop on.
No, man, I really appreciate it. I mean, there's certain songs that were inspired by different hip hop artists that I kind of incorporated myself. Even though it's me, you can hear a bit of that influence in it. Um, in beginning of one of the songs, I say, I think I'm gonna get my biggest smiles on this one.
Yeah, yeah, I noticed that bit.
And that's because when I heard the production for the first time, I was like, oh, this sounds like Bad Boy, like 95 Bad Boy. And what would Biggie do if Biggie was to get on this? And this was 1995, and Puffy presents in this beat. And it just, for me, it's like writings on the wall. So it just comes to me. Jesus, baby, don't be facetious. The seats warmed up for Keisha, and she just jumped inside of the brand new ride. Now I'm back to the future, Mr. Marty McFly. And yeah, it's just one of those. And it's me, but you can hear a bit of that Biggie delivery and how I, presented it. But it's definitely me and Ryan were always inspired by 90s and early 2000s when it comes to
Yeah,
the
I
R&B
loved it,
and
man. It
B
was
and hip
great.
hop.
I hope if you gig again, you ever do gigs, let me know because 100% make one.
Oh, I definitely will be gigging again at some point. I'm like I said, I'm working on a project now. After that, I will be getting back into gigging, bringing back merchandise, and yeah, I'm actually happy to be honest to get back in because, like I said, I think music as a whole is getting back into that space where people are really appreciating just the gift of being able to create music instead of the riches, the fame, and the fortune, and all that. You know, I think that we're back getting back into a good space, especially
Oh,
with like I listened to the Clips album last year, and I was just that inspired me. I was like, yes, Clips, like this is what we needed right here, just a breath of fresh air of just real music.
I love it. See how you collaborated on these albums as well. See, collaborating, does that help sort of push you as an artist as well? Because obviously you've got someone to work with and
I mean, I can say it does a lot of times, but I do think that a lot of artists really get inspired by me because most of the time, I don't know why, but I tend to be the first person to come up with the idea, come up with the hook. So I'm always writing first. And usually, before I even wrote it, it kind of is in my head. So if I hear the production, because I don't just pick production because production sounds cool, I have to connect with it. I know that this production is mine when the production comes on and the words just start coming to my head, whether it's the start of the verse or the hook. So I will have either the beginning of the verse or the hook in my head before I even start writing anything down. And usually that happens very fast. So I feel grateful to be a person that really does bless and inspire other people to start to write in something. And that's usually how it works. But I like collaborating because I like perspectives. That's the main reason for me. I don't feel like I should be the only person to give a perspective. I think it's cool to have a song or an album, and then you have a perspective from one, two, or three people. You know, I just feel that way.
yeah. Do you prefer being sort of independent or do you think you'd rather have a label backing you or
In the beginning, when I first got into music, I would love to have been with a label. Now I prefer the independence because I want to be able to make the music I want to make now. Like I'm older, and now that I'm older, I guess you can be more stubborn. I mean, I'm always open to listening, but in the sense of a label, I'm more stubborn in the sense that if I want to make this, I don't want you to tell me, no, this is what's hot right now. You should make this. But I don't really care what's hot right now because, you know, I remember Jay-Z was quote unquote retiring after the Black album and he put out the DVD Fade to Black. And in that DVD, he said something that stuck with me forever. He says, if you're not inspired, you should never make music because music should never be forced. It should always just be inspiration because that's what touches people.
yeah.
And so, yeah, I just think that labels tend to push people to make a certain kind of music. And I mean, you know, I understand it. It's about money. You want to make money. You're investing money so artists going to make money back. And I do know a lot of artists will listen, and then once they've made that money back, they're able to have a bit more creativity and freedom to create. But for me now, I'm older, and yeah, I just want to just have the freedom to create. you know,
Yeah, that's cool. What do you think the biggest challenges are that was an independent artist?
I think the biggest challenge is mainly, I really think it's marketing and just having the capital invested in you. Those two things for me are the most because obviously with a company they have unlimited amounts of capital to invest in you. They also have their own marketing department. So if they want to put your face on the billboard, they can put your face on the billboard. If they want to call up McDonald's and say, hey, I got an artist, I want them in a commercial, they can do that. There's different things that they can do. I think that's the hardest part. But I mean, again, money is something, but it's not everything. And I don't think that should be the end all be all when it comes to the freedom to create.
Yeah, that's cool. Was there any sort of dream collaborations for you?
Oh man, there's loads. I mean, there's
Who'd be your top
loads.
five?
Ah, top five. Let's see. I mean, this is so hard. I can't believe that you put me on the spot. Obviously, Jay Z, Hove has to be one of them. Um, so Jay Z has to be one of them. I would really love to collaborate and do a song with Rage Against the Machine if I could.
Well, he's gonna love
Um,
that.
yeah, I would love to do one with them. Um, who else? That's two. I would, you know what? And he's still alive, and he's another big inspiration for me. And I'm really ashamed that I didn't mention him before, but I would like to do something with Rakim because Rakim helped
Yeah.
me to understand hip hop on a different level also. So I'd say Jay Z, Rage Against the Machine, uh, Rakim, and I got two more, so I
You
need to
can have
be
Michael
very
Jackson
careful.
if you want. I'll give you Michael Jackson.
You know what? But I was gonna say dead or alive because if you
We can
going
you can have one dead and we'll have it Michael Jackson.
if you have one dead, then I'm choosing Michael Jackson, and my honorable mention for dead has to be Biggie.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, so one dead, I'll choose Michael Jackson. Honorable mention Biggie. But okay, so my fifth collaboration, my fifth collaboration. Oh, this is very hard. This is so hard. Um, I'm going. I'm gonna go R&B and say Usher.
Yeah, good shout. Shout. A good
I thought I gotta do. I love genres, different genres, so I gotta throw someone in from a different genre. I'll say Usher. I like to collaborate with Usher. No
that's
disrespect. I
good.
love Chris Brown, but I would like to do a song with Usher.
I call it. So what's next for you? You just gonna push out some more music now then?
I am. I'm pushing out more music. I am a very business minded person, so I've currently started a my own self tanning brand called Bronze. So that's registered. I'm just getting everything together with that. But yeah, I'm focused on music. I want to get back into a bit of acting. I've done a bit of modeling over the last year. I just want to get back into that creative space that I was doing. Like I've always been creative, but I want to get back out there with my creativity again. So yeah, that's that's what I've got coming. That's my plan.
Wicked. Wicked. Well, that's it really. That's the chat, man. That was wicked. I love that.
No, I appreciate it, Jay, man. And I really do respect before you go. I do respect your appreciation for music. And I know you love hip hop, but I know you just appreciate really
Yeah,
good
I love
music
I love all
also.
music, like it's fucking
Yeah,
quality.